All right, so if you can't tell already, there's probably been a little bit of a mistake today because I'm preaching. So, I really wanted to talk to you guys today about finding your passion. Is this on? There we go.
So can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. There we go.
No, I'm turned.
Yeah, there we go. All right, we're good. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about finding your passion. So a lot of people really struggle with this, and understandably so. It can sound pretty scary when discussing what your passion is, since it's such a big deal. And everyone has all sorts of thoughts and ideas of what your passion can and can't be. But all these preconceived notions really cause nothing but trouble. Because the truth is, your passion can be anything. It can literally be anything. There's really no confines for it. And I know that right now some of you have already found your passion, while others are still trying to figure it out. And so my goal today is going to be to help everyone here discover what their passion is, because everyone's passionate about something. And let's kick things off with a simple definition of what your passion is. So your passion is a tool that is used to accomplish your preordained purpose. So let's make this clear. Your passion is not a god, it's not a replacement for God, and it's not your life's purpose, but it is a tool for achieving your purpose. There's a difference there. I want to make that clear. And a lot of people end up turning their passions into their gods and idols. So I think it's really important to clarify that it's not your life's purpose. It is a tool. And to make it become your god or your idol is very unhealthy and shouldn't really be a part of a God-fearing Christian's life. So you might be wondering then, how can I use my passion, well, once you've found it, in a correct and healthy way? Well, let me tell you. Your passion should always be uplifting the attention back to God. I actually chose the word, I was actually going to use the word pointing back to God, but I thought the uplifting imagery was a little bit better. And the bottom line is this. God is the reason you have your passion. And as a Christian, it's your responsibility, your duty, to use your passion, as well as your other talents, gifts, etc., to glorify God. And that's the whole purpose of your passion. You're supposed to act as a sort of arrow that always directs back to God with everything you do. And now that we've cleared up what the purpose of your passion is, let's start discussing what your unique passion could be. And first and foremost, if you've been struggling trying to find your passion, pray about it. Bring it to God. Ask God to reveal to you your passion. That's the most important thing of all. And in addition to your prayers, take a good look at what you enjoy doing most in your life. Chances are that's your passion. For instance, my passion is making games. So I got a couple of pictures here of me growing up making some things. This looks like it's whack-a-mole. What else do I got on here? This looks like something you would put a little ball on the snake track and you would roll it back and forth. That looks like a little race car. You can see how proud I look. It looks like pinball. I don't know what that was.
I remember that one.
And that's me building another racetrack. And this is me more recently building my computer, which is a little different, but still kind of want to show it. So as you can see, I've always had a strong passion for making games. And I can tell you now that whenever I'm working on something like that, it feels completely different than anything else I do. It really just feels right. And I think that's the best way to tell if something is your passion. It's when it feels completely different compared to anything else you do. This can also be expressed as God's favor on you. And overall, it's a supernatural feeling that can't exactly be put into words. So ask yourself this whenever you do something. Do I feel God's favor on me when I blank? Just with whatever you do. And keep asking yourself that question. And if you stay consistent in your prayers, be vigilant, and have faith, you will find your passion. A lot of people mistakenly also like to box in what your passion can and can't be, like I said before. But just to remind everybody, your passion can be anything. To give you some examples, your passion could be writing, preaching, being a missionary, just being a housewife, being a gardening, teaching, cooking, running a business, being a doctor, serving, working in the government, knitting, painting, or anything else for that matter. And just to really this home, let's take a look at something most people will find is a really bizarre passion. Locks and keys. Yes, something as seemingly insignificant as locksmithing can absolutely be your passion. And unsurprisingly, there's also entire online communities formed just around the love of locks and keys. So above all else, don't let anyone tell you what your passion can or can't be. And don't ever be ashamed of what your passion actually is. And Matthew 5:15 says this, "Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house." And this verse is in reference to your gifts, talents, and passion, that you are to put them on display for all to see. Like I said before, you'll know your passion when you feel God's favor on you. And that's really all that matters, is when you feel God's favor on you. Doesn't matter what anybody else has to say about it. And then the new question becomes, well, what's the point of a passion? Or better yet, how can I use my passion for the benefit of God? Well, I'll try to give you a little bit more of a personal example to start off. For me, I've thought about this question a lot. And I began to question just about everything, like what's the point of books, movies, music, and all other forms of entertainment, really. And I'm happy to say that, well, there really is no point. But that I probably should put an asterisk there. Yeah, there you go. Well, the asterisk should probably be a little bit bigger than that. There we go. So allow me to explain what the asterisk is supposed to be meaning. Because the whole purpose of a passion is to help others and lead them to Christ. So while a book, a movie, a game, an art piece, or a song, or whatever, doesn't necessarily have a point, they can all be used as tools to lead others to Christ, and that's their ultimate goal. A book, for instance, can explore different topics or stories and present a biblical view on different things. Both art pieces and songs can depict a wide range of emotions and topics that can either point directly back to God, or they could point to the author that could inspire them to look to God as well. Movies are also extremely powerful since they're basically a combination of a lot of different forms of art and can be extremely powerful. But I would like to pause it here and emphasize one thing. All these things that I've listed are still tools, and they're tools that can be used for both good and evil. And speaking of tools, I would like to shift back to my passion. That's a little bit later. There we go. There's been a couple of games that I played throughout these past years that have radically changed my thinking on a couple different topics, mainly things like war and violence. And most importantly, they showed me how people can be reached in a new way. And it's this unique outreach that I want to emphasize here. And it has become my passion now to craft experiences that bring others together and explain the gospel in an entirely unique way. And to further this, all passions have a unique form of outreach. Even the locksmiths that I brought up earlier have a unique form of outreach. So whatever your passion is, always be looking for opportunities to reach others. And remember that we all have our unique forms of outreach. Everybody has something completely different to bring to the table. And moving on now, I would like to discuss a little bit more about pursuing your passion, what that looks like. So once you've found your passion, it is paramount that you work as hard as you can because all your efforts are for God. And Colossians 3:23-24 says this, "Whatever you do, work out with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving." So work hard, practice your craft and whatever you're good at, and do as good as you can possibly do, with the motivation being solely to serve God. And Philippians 4:13 says this, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Therefore, don't ever think that you aren't big enough or you aren't good enough to follow and pursue your passion. Your current skill set is a non-issue. God will take care of that. He will always equip and prepare you to do what you need to do. I realize this was, much shorter than a typical message, but I hope that everyone managed to get something important out of it today. And we'll continue next week with my dad.